Hey guys, this video is for educational purposes only. Please do not break the law. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Growers MBA Podcast. Today I have a very special guest, Mr. Idan Avitan, the founder over at Growee. Idan, can you introduce yourself? Maybe share a bit of your background, before you were launching Growee, how you got into the space, what inspired you to start Growee?
So my background is engineering. I'm actually a robotics engineer. And before I started Growee or started dealing with hydroponics, I don't think I ever grew a plant or deal with agriculture in my life. I worked for a medical device company. I was a robotics engineer. And pretty long time ago, I met someone who introduced me into hydroponics. And, it just blew my mind. Hydroponics, roots of the plants going inside the water. It was like science fiction. And he told me he has a problem with controlling and managing the chemistry of the water. And I told him, you know what, maybe I will build you a controller. It was kind of a side project. And from there, it grew and grew and grew and kind of sucked me into it. And I fell in love with the industry and with serving the industry and serving the specific sector of the industry. And since then, this is what I do for the past 6 to 7 years.
Well, that's really impressive to kind of come from outside the industry, but just be kind of an engineer, robotics guy, and then you're just like, oh man, I could totally fix this. This is an issue that I see that could be very easily fixed. So I think that's quite impressive to come in. So why don't we talk a little bit about what Growee does and why it matters for someone totally new who has no idea who Growee is? How would you explain what you guys do in simple terms?
I have this. When I started the company, everyone told me you have to have an elevator pitch. Okay, you have to have an elevator pitch that kind of summarize what you do in 30 seconds. So if you go into an elevator and you find the right investor, you can pitch them. And I never had an elevator pitch. So every time people ask me, what do you do about Growee, or what Growee does, or how does it work, it's always a different description. So just to kind of summarize it into simple words, we help small-scale cultivators, home growers, boutique farms, everybody that's doing small-scale growing to automate their nutrient dosing and the monitoring the chemistry of their hydroponics system or semi-hydroponic system. And I think what's unique about us is that from day one, we wanted to focus on that sector, what we call the pro hobbyists. It is a sector that was overlooked. Nobody looked at it. It was in interest of someone. Everybody was looking at the big cultivators in the industry. And I think that people that have this hobby as a passion, it's something that kind of got me into this industry from the first guy that I met. I said, hey, can you solve me the problem and build me a controller? So these guys are the same. They have this passion, and what Growee does is basically trying to help them and support this passion by providing them automation, so they can go into the app, use their phone to inject nutrients, measure pH, and we got more product that we're working on to automate the whole grow space for them.
I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good elevator pitch. But what I'm understanding is basically Growee kind of helps especially newer growers who come into the space. One of their biggest issues that they deal with is they don't exactly know how to keep the pH balance exactly where it needs to be, how to keep their nutrients exactly where they need to be. And because of that, they may run into issues where things fall apart. Maybe their plants die. Maybe they messed up something up. And so I think that's one of the great use cases where Growee comes in, because you guys do service smaller farms, smaller grows. So maybe these people don't exactly have the most experience with keeping this stuff. And even if you do have experience, I can imagine it's quite a pain in the butt to keep it all perfectly. So I think that's where Growee comes in. It has a really, really good opportunity to help people out, just keep things running super smoothly. It's just one less thing you have to worry about with you're growing all these plants. I mean, it's such a delicate plant, right? So I think it's a really cool use case. I wanted to ask you, can you break down your guys' main products? Let's talk about some of them. You guys have the HydroMaster, the nutrient doser, and the pH balancer. Could we get another elevator pitch, I guess, about what each one does, what the benefits are there,
Yeah, it's more of a thesis. I think that what I wanted to do is, first of all, obviously design the system, the technology behind the systems. What my vision was to build a system that will be scalable. So you don't have to buy everything at once. You can kind of grow with the system. So that's why you have different components that you can connect into a combo and expand. The first product that we have is the main controller, what we call the HydroMaster. I think I have one. Maybe I should bring one pretty fast. So, few seconds. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So this is actually a very special version of the HydroMaster. Usually it's black. This one is bronze. We're actually celebrating our 1,000 installations. So we made one in bronze, and we're gonna ship it to one of the customers. So, but basically, this is the main controller. This is what connects internet. This is the brain. So you have a pH and EC sensor that connected to it, connected to the cloud, and from then on, you can add dosers and pH balancers. So we have a pH balancing dosing units, especially for pH balance, with an algorithm that we have developed for protecting the plants. We actually got a patent on that 2 weeks ago. A very smart, unique way to measure and balance pH in a way that will not harm the plant's root and do overshooting. And we also have a dosing unit that is dedicated for nutrients. So let's say you're using, pick a company, Athena, GH, whatever nutrient company that you're using. All you need to do is just get the information from the feeding chart, enter it into the app, set it on the app, click enter, set, and that's it. Like the system will automatically start measuring and injecting and balancing and do whatever you need. So all of these components, you can add more dosers if you need. We sell them in combos on our website, but they're all designed to do the same thing, to automate the dosing and the balancing of the water.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And that's really cool. Also, congratulations on 1,000 units sold. Exciting stuff. It's good to see the industry growing. There's still people out there looking to automate their processes and tinker around. So really cool stuff. I guess you've kind of already answered this question, but I'm kind of curious because we've sold quite a few of your guys' units. We sold them to some bigger grow operations. So do you guys kind of have like a cap on how big the operation is that you can work with? And, what's necessarily keeping a bigger operation from using you guys?
That's an excellent question. I always kind of question myself with this question, because at the beginning I thought that, okay, maybe our users are going to be, the 12 lights guys maximum. Maybe some people are doing 1 plant, 5 plant, 12 plants. And then we started to see some more businesses coming in. Some of them wanted to use it for their R&D facility, not just the big grow and just the R&D. And then at the beginning, we thought, okay, it's going to be only for 100 gallons. And then we saw 500 gallons guys using it, and it was fine. And then it grew up and grew up. So today I will say around 500 to 700 gallons of water a day, which could be a big commercial facility, nice one. But probably if you ask me in about a few months from now, it will be more, because we're always trying to push the limit of the product. And if we see good results, why not?
And to add on to that, let's say there's an existing farm who already has kind of a system, and maybe they want to integrate Growee into that system. Is that something that can easily be done?
That's an excellent question. There's a lot of farms today that are using kind of a legacy solutions that they have been using for years. For example, mechanical pump system. If you heard of, like, for Dosatron, it's an excellent system, but it's a different approach. So you cannot actually get Growee to work with, I would say, analog or mechanical pumping or dosing system like Dosatron. So we do have ask for the grower to have a main reservoir. It's not like a direct line feeding when you have the mechanical injector that inject the nutrients to the water flow direct to the plants. This is something that we don't recommend doing with Growee. And the reason is because the system works on a continuous monitoring and adjusting. So it has to have these feedback loops. If you have a big reservoir and you add nutrients to the reservoir, the system can monitor and calculate what's going to be the next injection. It's a kind of a dynamic kind of approach. So we have to always monitor the effect of the injection that we've made. So I would say if you have a grow room indoor or a greenhouse and you have a batch tank or a recirculating system, even better if you're doing RDWC, and the capacity is around 500 gallons and you want to automate that, we're here to help. This is what we do. If you have a larger facility, I would say wait. Maybe in a few months from now or a year, we will develop solution for you also. But our main focus is the underserved section of the industry, which is from 1 plant to a few hundreds.
Hey guys, quick interruption here. I just want to let you know that every single product mentioned on this episode is available for sale at greenthumbdepot.com. We love hearing from growers just like you. So if you mention that you heard about us on this episode, we might even be able to throw in a bit of a discount. You can shoot me a personal email at james@greenthumbdepot.com or give us a call at 833-416-0000. 0375. We have the best prices on the internet and the best customer service. Not to mention, we offer free shipping across the continental US with no sales tax outside of Nevada. All right, let's get back to the episode. Cool. It's really exciting to hear that you guys are, potentially expanding into that space as well. I know we have a lot of clients and customers out there who are bigger farms, and they would definitely be interested in something like this. So my next question with this is, you guys do have competitors out there. So what kind of makes Growee stand out versus the competitor? Without mentioning any names, what is Growee's kind of unique selling point that people should know when they're considering?
I think that, first of all, every competitor got his own advantages, pros and cons, and there are things they don't know how to do perfect and other people can do it better than us. And we always try to be transparent on what we can deliver and what not. This is a unique part of our approach and vision. So I would say the unique things about Growee is the price point. If you compare it to similar products or dosing companies or products in the industry, without saying any names. So the price point, the onboarding of the system, you don't need anyone to help you. You don't even need a technician or a field engineer. You just need to get a product, get it out of the box, and in a few minutes you will have automation in your home. And of course, there's all the other features that nowadays I think it's kind of a basic to have an app and to have an automation and insights and all of that, and measurements and history and tracking, which is I consider kind of basic these days. And also the personal. We try to be very high level, very personal. Everything that you see on our Instagram page is a user-generated content. People are sending us videos. I try to talk myself, to have a conversation with customers, whatever I can, and interview them and try to understand their pain, what they need more, what do you think about, how can we improve. I think I've done maybe 150 calls in the past 2 years, like trying to talk with as many as I can. So being personal, being in that engagement with the customer, it's something that also is kind of unique about Growee. It's not a big corporation. It's a small company of people who love the industry, passionate about building technology. This is us.
Awesome. So it sounds like because you guys are such a small company, you guys can kind of have that customer to customer touch that not a lot of other companies have, which, is obviously a huge unique selling point for anybody, especially because you do serve these newer people. I'm sure that they have a lot of questions that you guys can help out with. So that actually brings me to my next question. When it comes to how you guys differentiate yourself, one of the most important things is a warranty policy, your training. What do you guys offer when it comes to that? Like, what is your guys' warranty? And then on top of that, do you guys offer any sort of training, or, how does someone get up to speed with your guys' products?
I'll start by saying that we produce every product by ourselves. So it's not like a factory somewhere in China. We make every system by hand in Israel, assembled and tests, and then we ship it to the customer. So before it even reaches the customer, we know we did everything that we can to make sure that the product is in the perfect condition. We are not perfect. Every company shipping can have incidents, but we always try to improve and be better. And also, it's also part of our personal approach. I can take a note and write down, thank you for ordering the product. This is done from Growee, and put it inside the box, and it will be from me. From us. So we make sure that every product the quality is perfect before we ship it. We have 45 days return policy. So if you got a product, you use it, you don't like it, it's not a good fit for you, you can talk to us and return it. This is how much we secure about the product. And there is a 3 years warranty. So whatever happened, most of the companies will provide warranty of 6 months for probes, pH probe, EC probes, 3 years. This is what we provide. So we calibrate and test and ship every product before. We calibrate every product before we ship it. But if you need help, we're here. We can help you. I think that if I look at the past 1 year, maybe, we had maybe 3 returns, maybe.
Well, that's excellent to hear. And of course, we love to hear that as well, because we always want to make sure our customers are well taken care of on the back end. And yeah, a 45-day return policy even if it's used, is a really good return policy. That's really excellent. And of course, the 3-year warranty, again, these products are obviously built to last, and seems like it's going to be, you're pretty protected as a customer coming into this. So That's great to hear. I think we covered pretty much everything we needed to cover about Growee. I would actually just like to get your insight on kind of the industry. If you have a couple extra minutes, how would you feel about that?
I would love to if I got something to contribute in some way.
Yeah, I always just love to kind of get the insight of people who are really, really working directly in the space every single day, see how things are changing on their end. And, so I'd love to just ask you a couple questions here. So how has the indoor cultivation or hydroponic space evolved since you entered the industry? You know, the industry is always changing. So how have things changed recently?
I think that first of all, people want to have nice stuff. It's not funny, but if you look at the grow facilities and the way that it's changed, it started as a DIY kind of an industry. You know, everybody which was needed to figure it out themselves, and now you're getting more and more view of what's becoming industry standard. For example, when I started, HPS light was the thing, everybody was using it, and now everybody's using LED. Right? It's more efficient, less heat, and technology involved. So you see that people are trying to reduce their costs, get like better results out of their equipment. So again, LED is a great example. Use less electricity and you don't need to cool the environment. So, and specifically looking at the small scale cultivator, the home growers, I think they started to understand that, you know, they want to invest in their hobby. It's not like a regular hobby. They really want to invest. They love it. And I give you an example about me. I got many hobbies. One of my hobbies is playing guitar. I got a Fender Stratocaster in the back, Vox amp, and a lot of effects. And every time I fly over or fly somewhere, I try to find like a unique pedals and to my guitar. So I invest a lot of money in my hobby. The home cultivators, they've changed. They came into a conclusion that they want to invest money as well. So they want to have a nice facility that is automated and looks good. Like 5 years ago, you look at the Instagram or on people's grow spaces and it looks kind of messy. Now you're seeing some high-end stuff. You know, you see some things that are beautiful, so aesthetic, and I think this is one of the things that I saw, and you get a lot of information. So people can become really expert in a shorter amount of time. Going back 20 years ago, you need to have a book or someone that knows someone that can teach you. Now with legalization in the US and the opening and also the stigma, you know, people used to have a bad stigma about the industry, and that's changed also. And coming from Israel, which is illegal to grow in your home, I would say that people are more open-minded. I actually had a call with a customer 2 weeks ago. It's on our Instagram page, and he's growing for his wife. She's sick. She needs help. She don't want to use medicine anymore. The doctor prescribed medical cannabis, and she needed to go to the dispensary to get it, you know, with the permission and everything. And he is allowed to grow in his state. And he said, you know what? And he doesn't even use it. He just want to do it for her. So he said, you know what? I want to do it for you, and I will grow it for you. And you can see that when you know, people are coming to build their facility or the grow room or take care of their plants with that goal to grow something that will help someone. It reflects. It reflects in the way that they grow. It reflects in the equipment that they're using. And I think we are in a very unique time when people like companies like Growee, but other companies as well, are building more and more product for that community, for the home cultivators. And I think it's an amazing time to be in the industry. But, you know, there's also the big facilities and the whole pricing, and I'm not really sure what's going to be there, what's going to happen. I don't have pretty much any take on that, to be honest. It's changed. It's kind of bouncing around every year. You probably feel the pulse more than me.
Yeah, I mean, things are always changing. People are always reaching out to us, asking if we can do something or another. We've gotten a huge influx of people interested in under canopy lighting recently. So yeah, things are always changing. The trends are always changing. But it is very interesting to see how I wouldn't necessarily say complicated, but how detailed and in-depth people are getting with their own home grows, which is pretty fascinating, you know. And just like you said, for a hobbyist, it is fun, you know. It's fun to grow the stuff. Like, as you said, the guy, he doesn't even smoke it, but he's just having fun growing it for his wife. And yeah, it's a really interesting industry is evolving here for a hobbyist grower. It's just a fun place to be a part of. So I think that's pretty much it. The only last question I just have for you is, you know, do you have any advice for someone new coming in? You guys do help a lot of these new guys coming in. So do Do you have any advice for them with growing their first plant to make sure they're successful at it?
Yeah, I got a good friend who did his first grow a few months ago, and I told him like for your first grow, you have to make it simple in order to succeed in the first time. Because if you will not succeed in the first time, it's gonna be hard to continue. So don't aim for the biggest bud, don't aim for the biggest yield. Just make it work for the first time, so you will have something, and then you can improve. So this is my tips for everything.
Well, that's really great advice. I think that's just have a little bit of success first, and then optimize. But just get something to grow first. And yeah, that's a really, really great advice. Well, Idan, thank you so much for joining me, and to everybody out there listening to this. You can purchase all of Growee's products at greenthumbdepot.com. We got a great relationship with Idan. So I really appreciate it, Idan. It was awesome talking to you. I learned a lot. And yeah, we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much. And you got an amazing platform. And I see how you managed to grow the platform, Green Thumb Depot, from the beginning. It's beautiful, and our website looks good, and customers support is amazing. I'm very happy that we have this podcast together, but also that we are working together, and I highly recommend buying from you.
Thank you so much, Idan. You have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.